Hi and welcome to this build in The Sims 4. I haven't done one of these before, proper, on YouTube, so I figured I'd give it a try. This build is, I called it Danish house, 120 square meters, because that is exactly what it is. It's actually a very typical Danish sort of build, same with the furniture and stuff, but you'll see that later. It is what you would call a tract house, from what I've understood on Google Translate. Yeah, for Google Translate. Where, well, in case it's the wrong word, I have found it is basically a house that is built by a firm, but they build the same house over and over when people order them, of course, with minor changes and details and stuff. But that's basically what it is, and Google says it's called a tract house in English, so I'm assuming that's what it is. Yeah, as you can see, I am messing around with some doors and stuff and windows. Same all the CC custom content in this build. I will upload it on Sim file share in a zip file. So you'll just have to download that if you decide to download this house as well. It is a 3-bedroom, 1 bathroom, and despite the bathroom being so big, you can actually see it. Of course, I can't point at it right now, but it's that little room here at the end, sort of, with the 2 small windows and 1 door inside. That's the bathroom. But despite it actually being that big, there is no such thing as a bathtub, because that's also not very Danish for some reason. We just don't have bathtubs very often, and when we do, it's usually in older houses. For some reason, Danish people apparently don't like baths, which is a mistake. I myself, actually, I had never had a bath in a... This just sounds horrible, I've never had a bath. I've never had a bath in a bathtub before we visited my English boyfriend's parents, and they had a bathtub. The first time I've had a bathtub. I've had a bath in a bathtub, and I'm mumbling, and it's okay. But yeah, it's the same with the roofing. It's just simple, boring, but it works. And I might, well, actually, I don't know what I might do. I don't know what I was about to say there. But yeah, I'm feeling a bit awkward, as you can probably tell. I haven't done this a whole lot before. But yeah, one of the reasons I thought it would be very interesting to try and build this in The Sims is because currently I'm actually studying to become a real estate manager. Well, not manager, but real estate. And this is probably one of the types of houses I will be working with. And in general, I just find it very interesting. Of course, otherwise I wouldn't bother spending my time trying to educate myself in it. But yes, you saw the stones outside. It might not look the prettiest, but it's very common. Again, that's what you have to keep in mind, that during this build I'm doing stuff that's very common, like, for instance, the bath here. I'm making this shower cabin, even though there is no such thing as a freestanding shower in The Sims 4. So you just have to put up with that. But that's how we do it, and I'm pretty sure other countries do too. Why the fuck wouldn't they? Yeah, I was kind of annoyed with those cabinets because I kind of wanted to use the ones that kind of goes along with the ones from what's it called again, the Cool Kitchen Stuff pack, but they're just not very bathroomy, because you can see that there's glasses and plates and stuff inside. It's like, I'm just gonna use these even though they don't fit entirely, but it's gotta work. This is one of the bits. All the curtains, apart from the one in the bathroom, actually, are custom content. I am pretty sure they are all from Dot at what's it called again? TSR. But again, it will be added at a zip folder. Same with all the lights I'm using. That's not already in the game. That's also from Dot. I use a lot of dot stuff. I don't know if it's a he or she. In my head, dot sounds like something you would call a girl, so I've always called her she. Well, him, her, she, I don't know. The kitchen here is from, what's it called? Sensational Designs. Again, it will also be added. But yeah, as you can see, so far, colors are very, very dull and boring, and that's just how they are in Danish homes. It's just all white, all simplistic, all very minimalistic. There's not a lot of clutter. There's just, I don't know, in Danish homes, it's kind of the whole, at least when you look at them, when you invite them home to try and sell, or like places like this, it's all about it just have to look nice. No clutter. You're not supposed to be able to see that someone's living here. There's not a whole lot of personality. I suppose, which is actually alright for a Sims build, because I don't know who I'm building for. You know, what kind of family's gonna move in. So I guess that's actually alright. But despite it being all very boring, as you can see so far, but we still have this idea that if something is cozy, we put it in there, even if it might not entirely fit with the rest of the home, which you will see when I am picking table and chairs, because it's like, oh, that's this wood, it's rustic, it's good, stuff. I don't know. I sort of like making fun of people like this, because at least the people I would imagine live in a place like this, because it's, oh, you can't see him here, but I like this chair, it's nice. It's like, yeah, me being weird. But yeah. But though, I don't know what to talk about. So I'll probably just start mumbling. But that's okay, I guess. It's better than it just being all quiet. Oh yeah, the bookshelves here. When I turn around, yeah, see there, you can see how mine are a lot slimmer. In case you are unaware of how to do this, there is a guy, I'm assuming it's a guy, on What The Sims, that is called Plastic Box, and he has a lot of the stuff that I'm also using, including those bookshelves. They're the same bookshelves as always. There's a few more recolors, but they are slimmer. They don't reach way out in the room and take up way too much space, and I like that, because who wants a shelf, a bookcase, that's that deep anyway? You don't need it. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, I kind of like those coffee tables from. They're from Family Stuff Pack, whatever it's called. Parenthood. That's what it was called. I like them mostly because it's actually the only coffee tables originally in the game, without custom content, without anything sort of that. That's 2x2 tiles, and honestly, I have always wanted something like that in the game, because it just looks ridiculous when you have like here you have two 3-seater sofas in a corner setting, and then you just have this tiny little coffee table that either you have to put really weird, or nobody is gonna be able to realistically use on one couch. And it's like, what's the point then of having a table? I'm weird. It has to look right, otherwise yeah. I also had a lot of troubles. What the fuck's that? With these curtains, because there's actually no decent what's it called, persienne, or what do you guys call them? You say persienna. That fits windows that are 3 long, and that's also really annoying. But I guess I figured it out. I just like the other ones better. They look nicer, at least in this sort of setting. Oh yeah, and that at the entry, that is what we call a kolken. I'm pretty sure you guys all around wherever you're from have similar stuff. It's basically where you come home, you put your groceries and if you have vegetables and stuff, if you have a little garden and stuff, you clean them out there so you don't get dirt inside the kitchen, and all your cleaning utensils. If you have your own tumbler and dryer, you put them out there as well. Stuff like that. They're very typically in the entry of most homes in Denmark, for some reason. Well, of course, I guess it makes sense. You come home, you put stuff in there. Yeah, and also, if you can see some of my items, they have different colors and stuff. It's just because I've downloaded extra content. And now we're at what will be, well, I suppose you would call it a master bedroom, but again, Danish stuff, very minimalistic, so there's not much of a master above it. Above it. I can't talk today. When can I? That's a good question. But yeah. But you know, even though it's very simplistic and stuff, I don't think I would mind sleeping in there. You know, it looks like it's gonna sound weird, but it actually looks like it would be nice and cool. Not as in, yeah, it's nice and cool. It wouldn't be too warm in the winters and stuff. In the summers and stuff like that. And that was my boyfriend. You probably heard cough in the background. I don't know what he's doing in the kitchen. I think he's lost. Oh, never mind. Sitting here making sexist jokes. That's wonderful. And then we are on to the children's bedroom, I'm pretty sure. The child's bedroom, I guess, because they're both children. I assume they're both children. I guess you could have a young adult living still with their parents, or pretending they're renting a room or whatever, even though that's actually not too common in Denmark, renting out a room. But again, doesn't matter. How does it? It's Sims. Who gives a fuck? I'm kind of sad that I couldn't use that one, just because it fits so nicely with the drawer. It's the same one, but it's too big. So I put in the same closet everywhere, and that's, unfortunately, I say it a lot. It's also very common Danish that no matter where you move, even if it's a rented place, if it's a place you buy, there's usually always those really, really ugly, shitty, built-in, what's it called, dressers, and I remember one time when I lived with a childhood friend of mine. He had bought a building, or a house, not a building. He bought a house, and in my bedroom, it had this really, really old, cheap, rackety wardrobe, and I gave up on using it because it was literally falling apart. The front bits where the handles were and the drawers, they would just pop off and the drawer would just collapse and stuff. So that was wonderful. And my bedroom in that apartment was so tiny I could just fit my bed in there. But of course I was so smart and buy a fucking king sized one, so I guess that was slightly my own fault. But you walk in and it's just a bed and a closet. Yeah, and I also changed this further on, just in like 2 seconds, because I don't like it, and it's like, well, I have this huge corner down here that I'm not using for anything. Let's put it down there. It makes more sense. Put in a big ass mirror, because what teenager doesn't want a big ass mirror? Oh, it's a ferret. I got a ferret. Yeah. We have a little fur ball. She's old. She's like, what is she again? 6? This March she'll be 6. It is currently December. And she is fat. But yeah, again, Danish stuff, very simplistic. There's not a lot of stuff on the walls. And they're all white and boring. It's just how it is here. Even though I actually kind of like how this house turned out, despite it being, well, what I would call dull. I hate white walls. Even though I end up using them a lot, I still hate white walls. They're cold, they're boring. They're just. Oh, I see the ear up. Oh, yeah, so good. And this is a shed. I just put some. Oh yeah, there's some coat hangers and stuff. It makes sense. Some shoes. But yeah, out in the shed, I just put some like deck storage and some gardening tools and a pipe for some reason. I think it's mostly because a lot of people out here, they have out in their sheds, because most houses actually have some sort of shed where the electricity is stored outside, and the water systems. Actually, in Denmark, we have very often we have something called what do you even call them? I guess it's a sort of water pump that heats it up. Yeah, boiler. My boyfriend is saying it's called a boiler, so I trust his judgment. However, our boilers suck. We have warm water. Like, say you want a nice, long, warm shower, forget about it. You have water for like 20 minutes, and that's it. Yeah, here we're just going through the pictures, having nice look at everything, even though you've already seen it. But it's always nice to have a last look, get a good idea. Yeah, I didn't really know what else to put out there because, again, clean counters, not a lot of clutter, so that's what I decided to do. Here's the bathroom and one of the shots of the kitchen. I actually really like how it turned out. It's very nice and spacious. Again, very white, very dull, very boring. But it's also like if you're looking to buy a house in Denmark, it's also the sort of pictures you would find when looking through. And the last one shot here. And I believe that's it. Goodbye.